Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, now the show you've been all waiting for, 702 from Las Vegas, is going to speak to you.
Well, alrighty then, we're here with another podcast. It's Talking with Mr. 702. We got an interesting subject for you today. We're going to talk about children. We're going to talk about our kids today. There's a lot of things going on with our kids. And unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of anger, and kids doing things that we're really not used to seeing. Kids are doing violent stuff, and sometimes they get in trouble. And when they do, and they get charged for these crimes, imagine when they get charged with a crime in a federal sense, that could get ugly. We're going to talk to a special guest today. That she's a teacher inside the correctional. Let's see what she's got to say about these subjects. Can you go ahead and say who you are?
My name's Jennifer. I work with at-risk kids and kids who have gotten in trouble with being
Right. So, what happens to these kids when they get charged with a felony?
They either deal with the juvenile system or some of them get charges falsely and end up going to the adult system.
How do you deal with children like that? Are they responsive? Do they want to learn? Do they want to change?
Some of them do. Some of them are, they're born into the life. They're third generation. They remember their first love. That's just who they are. That's what they've been brought up in. And others, honestly, if they would have just been, if they would have grown up in a different part of town, wouldn't be as affected.
You think that's a possibility of what's going on with these children? Uh, I try to think of it like, okay, I can understand you coming from broken homes and things like that. But also these video games, these violent video games that I see kids are playing all the time, stabbing, shooting the police. I mean, there's a lot of violence in these video games also. Do you think they play a factor in this?
I don't really know how big of a factor that is. I do think with the kids being isolated so long with the shutdown and being emboldened by things that they can say online that don't have consequences when you're online, but they come out of this pandemic thinking, oh, I can talk like that in person to people, and I can do, the things I've threatened people with, I can do them now in person, and I think that that's kind of created a new twisted reality for the teenagers now.
These teenagers, do you think they feel remorse?
Ooh. I do believe some of them are genuinely remorseful. Some of them, I think, honestly, it's untreated mental illness also is an issue as far as healthcare goes, and if there were more resources for kids as far as mental health goes, maybe a lot of these violent acts could have been prevented.
Right, avoidable, like the problem that we had in the high school here in Las Vegas, where in El Dorado, where this student really just, wow, incredible the thing he committed. We're not even going to talk about it because it's that sad. But do you think, just like in a case like that, a kid who gets charged for murder, let's say murder, uh, do they show signs that they are going to be able to change their lives, or really it's already a done deal?
I think some of them really can. Like, I can see it in their writings. Like, I like to give thoughtful and insightful writing assignments to them, and I can see some of them are really. It's a big wake up call to go to the big boy jail and be facing big boy prison time. They're not doing the juvenile programs, and they're not doing the Mount Carltons and be one with nature. When they get to the big boy jail, it's sometimes a big slap in the face, and sometimes it's just street cred.
In your facility, do parents come by and visit? Do they spend time with their kids, or is that not allowed?
They can visit, they get phone time, and then they can do video visits, but they can't, they're not in person.
So these kids that commit felonies, they're actually in prison like a felony, like an adult. They get trial like an adult, but they don't necessarily combine and live with the adults?
No, they're on their own system.
What's the youngest student that you have inside?
Um, right now, 15.
Is it hard to work with a 15-year-old? Do they even understand what they did wrong?
Some of them I think do. Some of them, like I said, with the mental health issues, I don't think until they get stabilized and start actually getting treatment do they really realize the gravity of what has happened. Um, but I think most of them, like I said, they grow up in the streets. They know what it is. They've seen it done by older brothers, cousins, and stuff like that. They've seen it before. They've seen violence. They've seen bodies. It's not you know a big shock to them.
That's incredible. But it is actual, and that's what it is. Something that goes on with our kids. It's their life, the way they grew up, their parents, the neighborhood they were in. It is true. Let's go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about how do you feel now knowing of what happened in another correction place where another person just like yourself that works in there with these students and with these felons just went through now. And the question is going to be, what do you feel? So let's go back and come back with after this commercial. We'll be right back. I'm Mr. 702, and I want to remind you all to subscribe to my website, Mr.702.com, or you can check me out on all my social outlets at Facebook, Instagram, and of course, TikTok. And we're back, and this is a hot topic today. And of course, we have a hot interview today, and we're going to keep on talking with her because we want to find out the inside scoop. Knowing everything she's knowing right now, things are happening that we've never seen before. I mean, we've never seen the violence we're seeing in our schools. Uh, how do you feel for your safety?
Personally, where I work, I'm in a very safe environment. I feel I'm safer than teachers in the neighborhood schools for sure. But now, we're seeing kids acting out in correctional facilities.
Have you seen anything out of the ordinary on your side?
Not where I'm at.
And how long have you been doing this?
This is my third school year.
You like it?
I love it. It's better than I'd rather work in a correctional facility than in a neighborhood school.
So you feel that you do make a difference for these people?
I like to think so, yeah.
Name one case specifically, just how you made a change in their life.
I have one kid. He's really sweet. He's actually one of my favorite doctors. All my students are great doctors. Actually, they all just seem very basic, like second school kids. He would ask me to look into certain stuff that they stuff with them and stuff like that. And he just really appreciated that extra effort with kids wanting to see kids with different union programs and things like that. I bring up, career type things for them, just to, look into trade. Here's an associate's degree that you can get, if you want to get into music production, things like that, that I like to do just to give them a goal, a focus. And with him, I did a lot of stuff.
Do they? I don't know, because after committing such a big crime and then seeing yourself, convicted as an adult, and you see that your life is pretty much, wow, it's already said and done. What's going to happen with you? Do they go into depression? Do you have students that go into depression?
Some do, especially after they first get there, and then they kind of accept it. We get some that come back because they violated probation and they're really not happy about being back, and they can go into a funk for a little while. But once it's like the stages of mourning, they finally get to acceptance and they're like, all right, I got to do it. And I just try to, let some of them know, not necessarily the murder charges, but the lesser charges. You're still going to be 20, 21 when you get out. You still have your whole life ahead of you. Like, just, take this with you and, don't look back. Like, I tell them, I'm like, I love you while you're here, but I don't want to see
try to smother them with love. You try to show them that love that they didn't receive when they had their childhood.
Some of them did get love. Some of them do have good families, but I do have like a mom, therapist, teacher, kind of all in one.
Remember one special student that you really just, oh my God, this is the kid. This is the kid that's gonna really turn his life around. He's gonna become somebody.
I have one from my first year there that I really, really, I hope he does. He is in the adult prison right now. I don't know for how long. Just a total sweetheart. And honestly, he's got his place in my heart. But I'm really hoping that he can do well.
So here's the big question. Teacher, you can teach basically anywhere. Why there? Why your choice there?
Honestly, I didn't feel safe at the neighborhood school I was teaching at, and I figured if I worked at either one of the magnet schools where you have to apply to get in, those kids have consequences if they don't if they act out there, or working in a correctional facility just because they're so much severity and things like that.
Well, let's go to another commercial break and then we'll come back and we'll have the final thoughts of this podcast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, I want to invite you to listen in to my podcast every day from Monday through Friday. We got hot topics that we're going to be discussing and talking about from here in Las Vegas and around the world. You don't want to miss this podcast because it's going to be burning hot with these topics. Don't miss it from Monday to Friday, talking to Mr. 702.
All right, and we're back again. We're going to continue with this story. This topic is very hot because, I mean, Jesus Christ, what's going on in America? And wow, our kids after COVID have developed this, I don't know, I want to say disrespect, attitude, even against their parents. I mean, we're seeing things we've never seen before. I remember my days. I mean, I'll talk back to my dad, and wow, I mean, all I saw was stars, and it was a different time. I mean, we had discipline in our schools where we had paddles. Kids didn't want to get in trouble. They didn't want to get paddled. And now it's all, it's all, oh my God, it's really incredible subject here. This is a very hard subject. But you know what happens at the end? These poor kids that are so young, that really are unexperienced with life, are the ones that have to pay the price by going to jail as felon prison inmates. And ma'am, you have a very, very hard job. I commend you for it. You're all hard, and it shows in the way you talk about your students, in the way that you talk about the way you educate these students, the way you want to give them the chance that they probably never had before. And it's a beautiful thing. Let me ask you one more thing. Um, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So I'll be doing this job. I absolutely love this job. They're my boys. I enjoy working with them. I like, as much as they're there, they're in the classroom and I want to get them their high school credits and get them graduated, close to graduation, whatever. I really
of advice. And before we go into that, what should parents look for? Is there any signs that they should be looking for?
I say just be attentive to your children's mental health. If you see, something all of a sudden kind of change, don't be too proud to get your child to a therapist. Don't be too proud. They recommend medication to, really help them out. All right.
Well, thank you very much for being in our podcast today. We wish you nothing but the best to you and your students. And to all of you out there that are listening to me, thank you very much to listen to our podcast, for giving us the opportunity to enter your homes, your cars, and your cellular phones at this time. And, you're talking to Mr. 702. Till next time, and remember, learn to live life. Don't let life live you. I'm Mr. 702, and I want to remind you all to subscribe to my website, Mr.702.com, or you can check me out on all my social outlets at Facebook, Instagram, and, of course, TikTok. Hey everyone, I want to invite you all to listen to my show, Talking with Mr. 702, every day from Monday to Friday. Don't miss it. We got a lot of hot topics of everything that's happening in Las Vegas and around the world. Don't miss it. Listen to me on Spotify, podcast, GuidoTV.com, and all my other social media outlets. Thank you.